He's 77 years old, but he moves, thinks, and looks like he's half his age. He does not live in the coming of age mode, but seems to be ahead of it. We are talking about a man named Abdul Waheed. He is 77 years old, and he continues to do what many people stopped doing long before the age of 40. Over the years, it does not slow down. On the contrary, it maintains a high level of activity. For him, old age is not a sentence or a stage of extinction, but simply a different mode of life in which you can stay active and engaged. And it is through his example that it becomes clear why the usual ideas about age often turn out to be limiting, and which principles really affect the state of the body and energy. Watch the video to the end and you will learn its main principles of a healthy and athletic body. So, let's get started. The first factor is that he regularly trains in the gym, and these are not rare supportive activities for show, but a full-fledged system of physical activity built into his daily life. For him, training is not an attempt to keep fit or compensate for age, but a natural part of the schedule, as usual as any other activities during the day. He comes to the gym without an internal struggle, and without feeling that he needs to be forced or motivated from the outside. There is no dramatization of the process. There is no perception of training as a test or a rare event that needs to be specially prepared for. Everything happens calmly and consistently. And this is the main signal of his approach. For him, movement is not a separate event or an effort of will. This is a norm built into life. It's as natural as sleeping, eating, or socializing. It is this naturalness and regularity that forms the basis of his physical condition and body stability with age. But the most interesting thing is not even the fact of training, but how he does it. He pays special attention to the body and arms. And it's not a random choice. The body is the body's control center. These include stability, posture, movement control, and protection of the spine and internal organs. A strong body at any age means one thing. A person controls his body, not the body controls him. And when you see an elderly man with a strong frame, it almost always indicates deep physiological stability, because it is the weakness of the body center that most often triggers a chain of age restrictions, deterioration of gait, falling, fear of movement, decreased activity, and accelerated aging. His hands are the second key element of his training focus, and it's not about aesthetics. Hands are independence. It is the ability to lift, hold, carry, and interact with the world without limitations. When the strength of the grip and hands is maintained in old age, a person literally remains independent longer. But it's not just what he trains that matters, but how he does it. He trains with other people in the company, and this is one of the most underestimated factors of longevity. Social activity in the context of training is not just about pleasant communication, it's a biological stimulus. When a person regularly interacts with others, especially in physical activity, the hormonal background in the body changes. The level of chronic stress decreases, motivation stabilizes, and commitment to regularity increases. Simply put, you don't give up what you do with other people. And that's why the company's workouts work not only on the body, but also on the psyche. Psychologically, there is an even deeper thing going on here. A person ceases to perceive himself as an elderly person who trains. He begins to perceive himself as a participant in the process, as part of a group, as an active person among active people. And this destroys one of the most dangerous age scenarios: internal isolation. Because aging doesn't start with wrinkles. It starts with a narrowing of life, less communication, less movement, fewer new stimuli. Conversely, the expansion of life slows down aging much more than is commonly thought. But perhaps the most important detail in the story of Abdul Waheed is his attitude towards age. He doesn't give in to stereotypes about old age. And it sounds simple, but in fact, it is a fundamental psychological attitude that affects physiology. Because if a person accepts the idea, it's no longer possible at my age, the body begins to adjust to this belief. Activity decreases, the load decreases, and the adaptation of muscles and the nervous system worsens. The body literally begins to save resources because it receives a signal. Movement is no longer required. But when a person, on the contrary, continues to act as if age is not a limitation, the opposite process starts. The body receives a regular incentive to adapt. Muscles retain their tone, joints retain their mobility, and the nervous system retains its reaction speed. And here it is important to understand, this is not about trying to deceive the age. It's about something else, not allowing age to automatically dictate the standard of living. Because youth in the real sense is not the absence of age. It is the ability of the body and mind to perform a wide range of actions without limitations. And if you look deeper, the story of Abdul Waheed is no exception. This is an example of what the standard might look like if the approach is changed. There is no magic in this story, no secret techniques, and no attempt to look different from what he is. There is consistency, there is movement, there is social inclusion, and there is a refusal to accept limiting scenarios as inevitable. And if you want to take one thought out of this lifestyle, it will be very simple and at the same time uncomfortable for many. Age doesn't take anything away by itself, takes away the lack of action. Conversely, almost any age begins to look different when it retains movement, stress, and connection with people. Abdul Waheed, at 77, does not demonstrate an exception to the rule. He demonstrates that the rules can be different if they are not accepted as fixed. And perhaps the most important question that remains after this story is not what does he look like, but another one, what age restrictions do you consider? Age restrictions simply because that's how people think. Friends, what do you think about this man? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful. We also recommend watching this video, which has now appeared on your screen.